Welcome to Kitchen 101, where you learn how to think like a chef. How to cook, not what to cook. Today we'll be looking at 10 mistakes new cooks make. So grab yourself a pen, paper, and a checklist, because I'm Professor Kitchen, and class is in session. Recently, a chef I follow on YouTube and Twitter released a video entitled 10 Mistakes of Newbie Cooks. I loved it and decided to steal it. I'll link to the original video down in the description box below. I highly recommend that you go over and watch it. If you like this video, there will be a link at the end of the screen where you can watch another one of my videos that YouTube custom picked out just for you. Aren't you so special?
Number 1. Not reading the entire recipe before you start cooking.
My youngest daughter spent several years as a vegan. Because none of the rest of us had that way of eating, she scoured the internet looking for recipes that she thought she would enjoy. She had a bad habit of reading the recipe one day, but not rereading it again before she made the dish. Many times this came back to bite her, as she'd be halfway through cooking and suddenly realize that she was missing an ingredient or step. Always read the recipe right before you start making the dish to make sure that you have a good understanding of what's going on.
Point number 2, which is following a recipe blindly.
My wife is really good at following a recipe, sometimes too good. Many times when trying a new recipe, it comes out overly bland or overly salty. Sometimes the recipe might be called something like cilantro chicken, but tastes nothing like cilantro to us. Everyone's palate is different. A recipe that I love may not taste right to you, and one that you love may not taste right to me. Which is a great segue into point 3, which is
taste, taste, taste. You want to taste your food at every stage.
Keep yourself a testing spoon or two ready at all times. Before you serve a dish, always taste it first. My father's a great cook, but is currently going through chemotherapy, which is messing up his sense of taste, and never fails that if no one is around to taste test for him, the food isn't quite right. Always know what your food tastes like before anyone else does.
Point number 4, clean as you go.
I fail at this all the time. It's so easy to clean during the downtime of cooking, but I always seem to fail at doing it. Cleaning as you go is the best way to make the chore of cleaning up the dishes and kitchen as easy as possible. You're already in the kitchen and you know what needs to be cleaned. Just do it.
Number 5, using a blunt knife in the kitchen.
Many people are afraid of sharp knives. Don't be. A sharp knife is your best friend, but a dull knife is a Judas just waiting to betray you. Believe it or not, it's easier to cut yourself with a dull knife than a sharp one. Why? Because with a sharp home knife, cutting even the toughest foods is easy. The sharp blade does all the work. But with a dull knife, you need to use your strength to get the knife through the food. The more force you use, the greater chance of you losing control of the knife and then losing a finger. Do your non-dominant hand a favor and get a good knife and keep it sharp.
Overthinking and making the dish more complicated than it needs to be at the stage that you're at.
It's always cool to make something that's a bit fussy, something that's a bit difficult and makes people think, wow, they're a better cook than I thought. But there's a reason these dishes and techniques are considered hard, because they are. Don't step too far outside of your comfort zone. Don't tackle a dish that has more than one new thing in it. Don't try and make multiple dishes at the same time. Take baby steps. There are lots of meals to make. You'll get the chance to try that dish. I promise.
Number 7, which is substituting ingredients mindlessly without understanding why it's there.
Substitutions are hard because nothing is the same as anything else. Things that are different are not the same. Any change you make to the original recipe will change the outcome of the dish. For instance, you can substitute table sugar for coconut sugar, but it won't taste the same. You may still like the dish, but it will taste different. Agave syrup and honey are, chemically speaking, identical. Same liquid sugar ratio, same density, same viscosity. However, the flavors are different. You will notice a difference in taste depending on what you use. Until you understand the flavor and effect of each ingredient, don't try substitutions. Or, if everyone likes it, call it a different dish when you made it up.
Now this brings me to point number 8. I would suggest you find your guru.
You need to find at least one person who really inspires you, someone who makes you excited to get into the kitchen. For me, that was Alton Brown in his show Good Eats. I love the way he showed you not just how, but why things are done the way they are. Ironically, I'm not a huge fan of his recipes. I rarely make any recipes of his. However, his method of teaching really inspires me. Contra-wise, I can't stand to watch Paula Deen's show. I've never liked her personality or over-the-top accent. But man, can she cook! If I'm searching for a recipe and find one by her, you can bet I'm using it. Find the person that inspires you.
Point number 9. There will be missteps. Don't put your head down.
Becoming discouraged. Oh, this is so big. It's so easy to get down when you're trying to learn how to cook. When you keep making mistakes, dishes come out all bad and you don't really know what you did wrong. Been there? Done that. In fact, all of the other mistakes will lead you to this mistake. Cooking is much science as it is art, and as much art as it is science. Just like Picasso had to learn how to use a brush, paint, and canvas before he could paint masterpieces, you need to learn the basics before you can make your masterpieces. One of the odd things about human beings is that we learn more from our failures than we do from our successes. Don't let your mistakes discourage you, let them encourage you. You are one step closer to becoming a master chef.
And this brings me to point number 10. There is no way that you'll be as close to being as skilled as a professional chef on day 1. That's fine.
Mozart was a prodigy. He started composing at the age of 5 and went on to write some of the greatest musical masterpieces in history. You're not Mozart. You don't have an innate understanding of chemistry, flavor, texture, and smell to create gastric masterpieces at the age of 5. If you did, you'd probably not be watching this video. You need training. You need practice. You need to have some wins and losses under your belt so that you can learn what to do and what not to do. It's okay to not be a culinary Mozart. Just don't be a culinary dropout. Are there more mistakes you can make? Sure. In fact, Danny and I are working on a collaboration to bring you some more. Stay tuned for those. Make sure you go over to Danny's YouTube channel and watch his full video for his explanation on the 10 mistakes new cooks make. The link is in the description box below. And stay tuned for our collaboration. Thank you for coming to class today. Hope you have a great week. God bless. Class dismissed.